Temporary power taps, often surge-protected power strips, are primarily designed for temporary applications. Examples of suitable environments include construction sites, exhibitions, trade shows, and home renovations. The design caters to short-term power distribution and surge protection needs. The National Electrical Code, abbreviated NEC, provides guidelines for electrical installations. While the NEC does not explicitly define temporary power taps, it offers relevant regulations for temporary wiring in Article 590. Section 590.1 emphasizes the requirement for temporary wiring to be installed to ensure protection from physical damage. Section 590.3a states that temporary wiring should not be used for more than 90 days. It is important to distinguish temporary power taps from extension cords. Extension cords are flexible cords used to extend the reach of an existing power outlet. Conversely, temporary power taps are surge-protected power strips specifically manufactured for temporary use. Using temporary power taps in permanent installations could potentially violate NEC guidelines. Section 590.1 underscores the fact that temporary power taps are not engineered to endure the wear and tear associated with permanent installation. Section 590.3a reinforces that temporary power taps are intended exclusively for temporary use, limited to a maximum of 90 days. Deploying temporary power taps in permanent applications can introduce potential safety hazards. Their construction and materials may not be suitable for continuous long-term use, increasing the risk of electrical failures or fire. To ensure electrical safety and compliance with the NEC, it is recommended to use wiring and devices approved for permanent installation when setting up electrical systems for long-term use. These devices are designed and tested to withstand the demands of continuous operation. Regular inspections of electrical wiring and devices are essential to identify any signs of wear, damage, or overheating. Any damaged or malfunctioning components should be promptly replaced by a qualified electrician. Surge protection is an important aspect of electrical safety. Consider installing a whole house surge protector at the main electrical panel to safeguard against voltage spikes from external sources. Additionally, surge protection can be used at individual outlets to protect sensitive electronic equipment. Grounding is a critical safety measure in electrical systems. Ensure that all electrical outlets and devices are properly grounded to provide a safe path for fault current to flow in the event of a short circuit. Overcurrent protection devices, such as circuit breakers and fuses, are designed to interrupt the flow of current when it exceeds a safe level. These devices help prevent overheating and potential fires. Arc fault circuit interrupters, abbreviated as SIs, are designed to detect arc faults, which are dangerous electrical conditions that can lead to fires. SIs are commonly required in bedroom circuits and other areas where fire hazards are higher. Ground fault circuit interrupters, abbreviated GFCIs, are designed to protect against electrical shock by detecting ground faults. GFCIs are typically required in wet locations, such as bathrooms, kitchens, and outdoor areas. Electrical safety should always be a top priority. When working with electrical systems, it is essential to follow safe work practices and wear appropriate personal protective equipment, abbreviated PPE, such as gloves and eye protection. If you are not comfortable working with electricity, it is best to hire a qualified electrician to perform the work. The NEC is updated every 3 years to reflect changes in technology and safety standards. It is important to stay up to date on the latest NEC requirements to ensure that electrical installations are safe and compliant. Many local jurisdictions adopt the NEC as their electrical code. It is important to check with the local authorities to determine which edition of the NEC is in effect and whether there are any local amendments or requirements. Electrical permits may be required for certain types of electrical work. Check with the local authorities to determine whether a permit is required before starting any electrical project. Electrical inspections are typically required after electrical work is completed to ensure that it meets the requirements of the NEC and local codes. A qualified electrical inspector will conduct the inspection. Temporary power taps are not designed to be modified or altered. Any modifications can compromise their safety and performance. Always use temporary power taps in accordance with the manufacturer's instructions. Avoid overloading temporary power taps with too many devices. Overloading can cause overheating and potential fires. Use temporary power taps in dry locations. Avoid using them in wet or damp environments, as this can create a shock hazard. Inspect temporary power taps regularly for any signs of damage, such as cracked housings, frayed cords, or loose connections. Replace any damaged temporary power taps immediately. When disconnecting a temporary power tap, always grasp the plug, not the cord. Pulling on the cord can damage the wires and create a shock hazard. Keep temporary power taps out of reach of children and pets. Consider using tamper-resistant receptacles to prevent children from inserting objects into the outlets. Surge protection devices have a limited lifespan and will eventually need to be replaced. Check the manufacturer's instructions for the recommended replacement interval. Using the correct type of wire is crucial for electrical safety. Ensure that the wire gauge is appropriate for the amperage of the circuit. Use only approved wiring methods such as conduit or cable to protect wires from physical damage. Electrical boxes are used to enclose electrical connections and provide a safe mounting point for devices. Use the correct type of electrical box for the application and ensure that it is properly grounded. When making electrical connections, use approved connectors and ensure that they are properly tightened. Loose connections can cause overheating and potential fires. Label electrical panels clearly to identify the circuits and their corresponding loads. This can help prevent accidental overloads and make it easier to troubleshoot electrical problems. Keep electrical panels clear of obstructions to allow for proper ventilation and access for maintenance. Avoid running extension cords across walkways or doorways, as this can create a tripping hazard. Use cord protectors to cover extension cords that must be run across walkways. Never bury extension cords or run them through walls or ceilings. This can create a fire hazard. Unplug electrical devices when they are not in use to save energy and reduce the risk of electrical fires. Consider using power strips with surge protection and on/off switches to make it easier to control power to multiple devices. When working with electrical tools, use only tools that are in good condition and have been properly inspected. Wear appropriate PPE, such as gloves and eye protection, when using electrical tools. Follow the manufacturer's instructions for the safe operation of electrical tools. If you are unsure about any aspect of electrical safety, consult with a qualified electrician. They can provide guidance and assistance to ensure that your electrical systems are safe and compliant. Many resources are available to help you learn more about electrical safety. Consider taking an electrical safety course or consulting with an electrical safety expert. Staying informed about electrical safety is essential for protecting yourself, your family, and your property. Temporary power taps should not be used in locations where they may be exposed to moisture, corrosive substances, or excessive heat. These conditions can damage the temporary power taps and create a safety hazard. When using temporary power taps, ensure that they are properly supported to prevent them from being damaged or pulled from the outlet. Avoid using staples or nails to secure temporary power taps, as this can damage the cord. Use cable ties or other approved methods to secure the temporary power taps. Do not coil or bundle the cord of a temporary power tap while it is in use. This can cause the cord to overheat. Ensure that the cord is fully extended to allow for proper ventilation. Avoid using temporary power taps in areas where they may be subjected to heavy traffic or physical abuse. These conditions can damage the temporary power taps and create a safety hazard. Use temporary power taps only for their intended purpose. Do not use them to power devices that exceed their rated capacity. Overloading a temporary power tap can cause it to overheat and potentially start a fire. When using multiple temporary power taps, ensure that they are not connected in series. Connecting temporary power taps in series can overload the circuit and create a safety hazard. Always plug temporary power taps directly into a wall outlet. Avoid using extension cords or other adapters to connect temporary power taps to the outlet. When using temporary power taps with electronic devices, ensure that the devices are compatible with the voltage and current requirements of the temporary power tap. Using incompatible devices can damage the temporary power tap or the devices themselves. Regularly inspect temporary power taps for any signs of wear or damage. Replace any damaged temporary power taps immediately. Do not attempt to repair damaged temporary power taps yourself. Always have them repaired by a qualified electrician. When storing temporary power taps, keep them in a dry, safe place. Avoid storing them in areas where they may be exposed to moisture, extreme temperatures, or physical damage. Before using a temporary power tap, read and understand the manufacturer's instructions. Follow all safety precautions and recommendations provided by the manufacturer. If you have any questions about the safe use of temporary power taps, consult with a qualified electrician. They can provide guidance and assistance to ensure that you are using temporary power taps safely and effectively. Remember that electrical safety is everyone's responsibility. By following these guidelines, you can help prevent electrical accidents and ensure a safe environment for yourself and others. Electrical codes and regulations are in place to protect people and property from electrical hazards. Adhering to these codes and regulations is essential for ensuring electrical safety. Failure to comply with electrical codes and regulations can result in fines, penalties, and even criminal charges. It is important to be aware of the electrical codes and regulations that apply to your area. You can find this information by contacting your local building department or electrical inspector. If you are unsure about any aspect of electrical safety, consult with a qualified electrician. They can provide guidance and assistance to ensure that your electrical systems are safe and compliant. Staying informed about electrical safety is an ongoing process. Attend electrical safety seminars, read electrical safety publications, and stay up to date on the latest electrical codes and regulations. By taking these steps, you can help ensure that you are doing your part to promote electrical safety. Always remember to turn off the power at the circuit breaker before working on any electrical circuits. This will help prevent electrical shock. Use a voltage tester to verify that the power is off before touching any wires. Treat all wires as if they are live. Never assume that a wire is not carrying electricity. Work in a well-lit area. This will help you see what you are doing and avoid making mistakes. Use the proper tools for the job. Using the wrong tools can damage the electrical system and create a safety hazard. Follow the manufacturer's instructions when installing or repairing electrical equipment. This will help ensure that the equipment is installed or repaired properly and safely. If you are not comfortable working on electrical circuits, hire a qualified electrician. They have the training and experience to do the job safely. Remember, electrical safety is not something to be taken lightly. By following these guidelines, you can help prevent electrical accidents and ensure a safe environment for yourself and others. It is very important to note that the information provided here is for general guidance only and should not be considered a substitute for professional electrical advice. Always consult with a qualified electrician for any electrical work or questions you may have.